Hello everyone, my name is Keilly Araujo, and I'm going to be talking about a case study that I had in my current classroom. I had to implement a social emotional curriculum called the Ruler curriculum, and what we would do is we would try to have our children label their emotions and have them ask and wonder and ponder why they feel a certain way and promote positive ways in regulating their own emotions. And this was done through a series of different techniques, such as yoga poses, relaxation techniques, breathing exercises, and as far as labeling emotions, students were able to visualize and use words and use their own classmates as a reference to pinpoint different emotions and try to see how they change throughout the day. So we use something called the mood meter, and what children were basically asked to do is whenever they felt a different emotion or whenever they came through the door and felt a certain way, they were to label their emotion and put their picture into where the color scheme is. So we had 4 colors. Green generally stood for relaxed emotions such as relaxed, happy, mindful, and we had yellow, which was joyful, excited, a little bit more of a stronger feeling of emotion. And then we had the red, which was frustrated, angry, annoyed. And then we had blue, which was more of a deeper, lonely feeling, sad, hungry, tired, those kind of feelings. So we used this, and this is the second year using the curriculum. And most of my older students have been accustomed to using it. And so they're able to say, this child feels a little bit in the blue today because she's crying. So they're able to label the emotions, and they're able to notice others that are feeling different emotions and maybe even identify why they're feeling that way. And so I had a particular case study, which was a student of mine. This is his second year with me. The first year, he was very, very quiet, very timid. He didn't have much engaging experiences, even though we tried our best to make him feel part of the classroom. Whenever both of his teachers were around, he was very quiet. But when he was with his friends, he was speaking a little bit more. But even then, he was very, very, very closed in, very hard to get through. And at that point, he wasn't really doing academically well. This year, he kind of showed whole different side of him. He was able to not only demonstrate challenging behaviors, but whenever the lead teacher, which was me, wasn't there, he would show these different attitudes and different behaviors. Like he would kind of like even explode in like these different challenging behaviors. And so we were wondering what was going on. And we did our best to have, this ruler come in, and we would try to tell him, hey, you look a little bit in the blue today, or you look a little bit in the red today. Let's talk about why you may feel that way. It wasn't until a long time after, going over and over again of how we can express ourselves, different ways we can use the techniques that we have, the yoga, that we realized that maybe the approach that we were going through wasn't suitable for him. It wasn't making it easier for him to express himself. So we got also a music program that came in, and we have a lot of different resources. We had music, we had instruments that they can use. And I can see how this different approach, and with the use of the ruler approach, we were able to see a change in him and see how he reacted. So we used music, we used movement, and you can see him coming out like it was just different emotions that he was displaying, and he was actually being a part of the music and movement activities, which before he wouldn't be. So after these music and movement activities, we would ask him, hey, so how do you feel now? And he would, not reply, but he would change his picture towards maybe a little bit more relaxed and not feel so uptight or stressed out. with the help of the parents, of course. I mean, this was a long time coming in. We had a lot of help with our administration as well. And he was able to come in through a different channel and have him channel his different emotions out, because he was also having challenges in the house. And so now that he's becoming a little bit more verbal, and now that he's becoming a little bit more active into the learning experience, I think that by using the ruler approach, he's able to now understand that there's feelings that make us feel bad, and there's feelings that make us feel better. And so it was like, if the good feelings, like when we acknowledged that he was doing something good, and oh my God, you look so proud because you did a building in block area, he would shy off, and sometimes not even like feel like he recognized, or feel like he should be recognized for doing something positive in the classroom. But now he's becoming a little bit more like, oh, okay, well, I did something good. I'm being acknowledged. The teacher's looking at me. Yeah. And then he'll move on quickly to the next activity. So I feel like this particular approach really did not only a little bit of minimal advances, but we did do something. We did see something different in that student. And as far as another student that I had, she was a girl, and she was also in the same kind of avenue. She would come in through the classroom, and she always had a grumpy face, and all of the students were acknowledging it. All of the students knew that she was always in a bad mood. And so even her mother and would acknowledge it in front of the students, which was, something that we tried to make sure that we redirected. And the beginning of the year was a challenge, because everything would bother her. Everything would make her feel uncomfortable. And so we tried our best to have her see that, she was demonstrating these feelings, and we were trying to get to the bottom of it. Why was she feeling angry? Why was she feeling upset? Many occasions was because she woke up early. Many occasions was because she wanted to keep sleeping. And when we got to the bottom of it, we're like, well, we have solutions for that. If you ever feel, tired, or you want to go ahead and take a little nap, or just calm down for a bit until you're ready, you can go to, cozy area. You can go and rest a little bit during the playground time. It's okay. So when we were able to give her different solutions to why she was feeling these different ways, it kind of made it easier for us, because we were addressing what she needed at that moment. So not only did we address her needs and address the other child's needs, we were also giving them the tools so that they can go ahead and use it in their own time. So when they're in work time, let's say for example, and they're doing their play in their different areas, they can find a way, well, I don't have to necessarily get so angry about this. I can just go ahead and, do something else, or go over here whenever I feel this certain emotion. And the books helped a lot. One of the ruler approaches, routines that was very efficient in my classroom was the step inside. So what would happen is that students had to step inside, and I would use a hula hoop, or I would use tape, and I would make sure that the students were inside of something tangible that they can see, that they can feel, and pretend to be a character of a story. So since many of the times a lot of good lessons come from our stories, I made sure that we used them to our advantage. And a lot of the books that we were able to use had to do with feelings, and they were able to go ahead and be a different person, and reenact it. And at first it was very silly. The kids were laughing most of the time, but after a while, they were able to see that, when we repeated it different times and many different occasions, they were able to see that sometimes we can react certain ways, and that there are different ways to react to certain things, and that maybe the way that we react the first time is not the best, but that we have different solutions, and that, there's other people that are being affected by the way we are reacting. And for the most part, I think that we were able to get our children to understand and be more aware of other people's feelings and our actions as well, even though we're still working on it, because this year has been very challenging in the sense of social emotional approaches. I think that we are able to crack at least some kind of a chip off the old block, because a lot of our students are now being a little bit more aware of others and our own peers. And whenever they see somebody that's crying or in the playground by themselves, they would go on their own and approach them and tell them, hey, you know, are you okay? And then they'll come to me like, teacher, we saw tal y tal or somebody by themselves, and you know, we don't know why she was crying. We asked them, but they didn't want to tell me. So these are the things that make me feel like, oh my goodness, like, yes, finally we're cracking down, you know, we're making a difference. And these things are definitely what the whole ruler approach was, you know, based on, to have our children a little bit more aware of the social emotional part, because after their needs are met, then that's when they can start and begin to learn. Thank you.